All right. The Blood of Dawnwalker. For context, this is coming from Rebel Wolves Studio. This is a studio that was founded by a game director that previously worked at CD Projekt Red, did work on Witcher 3, did work on Cyberpunk 2077 as well. So there's pedigree here. It's being published by Bandai Namco, and it seems like they're heavily pushing it as like the next big AAA RPG. All right, so they're talking about it still being in development. Blood of Dawnwalker, a little bit of a forgettable title so far.
My name is Daniel Sadowski, and I'm the design director at Rebel Wolves. I would like to welcome you to the Blood of Dawnwalker summer gameplay video. Our game is a story-driven, open-world dark fantasy RPG set in medieval Europe. The game is currently in pre-beta stage, and what we are going to show you is just a part of one of the mid-game quests. It's a really cool story involving legendary swords and a haunted almshouse, but today we'll focus on showcasing our gameplay systems. We're starting on the outskirts of Svartro, the game's largest city and the capital.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. Right now, I see every third-person action RPG, like every fantasy-based one.
It's not just about where or when you go. It's also about how you approach the main quest and shape the story, making each playthrough uniquely your own.
Did I ever get into the For Honor combat system? I never played much For Honor. I should have. For Honor is a me-ass game, I'm pretty sure, that I just never got into.
To be hidden in its crypts. But first, we'll have to deal with some bandits who camped out by the main road. Traveling through Vale Sangora is never boring. The world is dense with quests, random encounters.
When do we start the conversation about medieval fatigue? I don't think that'll ever happen.
Great opportunity to show you
at least anytime soon.
Our goal was to make the player feel like a real swordmaster who closely observes his enemies. We'll begin this fight by using acrid dust to stun one of the enemies. Now, when you
I think medieval is just too much of a staple.
Four directions: up, down, left, or right, in order to hit the opponent where he's enabled.
It's like I'm not a big medieval person.
Defending, you have to take note of the enemy's intent.
But like this, I mean, it's always been around, right? Like this has been one of those settings in fiction
you have activation charges
that people just always go back to.
Successful attack, block, and parry. Once they are full, you can use one of the active abilities which allow you to take a more tactical approach to fighting. We started the fight by throwing some acrid dust. And
I don't like this change in perspective.
Hex,
oh, wait, hold on. Hold on.
Skin, dealing physical damage over time. All right, time to finish this fight. Let's use the final activation charge to cast the artery attack, which
Jesus
actually decapitated the last opponent. Our hero quickly dispatched the bandits, so
God, this is every
they've left behind and open
action RPG. It's like I'm gonna loot an apple off this guy because he just had an apple in his fucking backpack.
Let's replenish our health by
which makes sense, I guess. But
and then take a closer look.
I feel like I here's the thing.
Weapon we just picked up.
So far, I'm not mad at this. So far, this actually looks good. I just don't know how much room I have for more of these in my life. I think I'm the kind of player, and chat, you can let me know if you're the same way too, where I have my roster. You know what I mean? It's Fallout. It's probably Witcher. Witcher's in the roster. When the next Witcher comes out, I'll play that. Like it's any Bethesda game, honestly. It's Bethesda games. It's Witcher. It's Outer Worlds. Like I have my roster of kill, loot, upgrade. I guess Horizon, if you want to count that in there as well, because it is technically that kind of game as well. Like I have my RPG roster of games, and I don't know how much more space I have if you look like the other ones. Like I look at this, and so far I'm like, you look like I've played this game before. I've played multiple of this game before.
Our current weapons, so let's equip it right now. We've also leveled up So let's use this opportunity to spend the newly acquired skill point in one of Cohen's skill trees.
Like, I think right now the job of this
skills in
game
the Blood of Dawnwalker are divided into 3 trees.
is to really
One for
sell me
human,
on why do you
one for
deserve a spot
vampire,
in my
and
roster?
one
What makes
shared
you special? What
between
makes
the
you
two.
different?
We also have an active abilities panel. We can use it to unlock additional abilities to use during combat. Note that during the day, the health bar is not regenerating. You need to find consumables like the one we've just eaten. The hexes we've just used also consume some of Cohen's health. Be aware of that. The way our magic system works, there's always a price to pay for manipulating reality. But we can
Oh,
make
this is
it sting
Norse.
a bit less.
Is this
Let's level
Norse?
up the frugal witchcraft skill, so next time we'll cast a hex.
Is this
we'll
Norse
consume
mythology, or am I
fewer of Cohen's
misreading
health points.
an
Now that
icon
we've
there?
wrapped up the encounter with the bandits, we can be on our way to get inside the city.
This is Eastern
Right
European.
Now, Cohen
Okay.
hasn't done enough to ruffle the vampire lord's feathers, so the
Oh, it's all
gods
it's
will just
vampires.
let
Never
us
mind.
through. But the more damage you cause, the more suspicious and aggressive they'll
More
become.
Slavic than anything,
So
says
when
Big
you
Bad
play the
Beluga.
game yourself, you'll have to decide whether you want to challenge the vampires openly, or lay low until you're ready to strike and surprise them.
Brother, why is the camera so close? Yeah, Cameron Kent says, I don't love this camera view. The camera is giving, like, Resident Evil 4, but, like, on the PS2.
This is the rich district of the city, Silberkreis. There's also Altermarkt, Neustadt, and the Middens. Each
Brother,
of
zoom
those
out.
has its own feel and character.
Yeah, it feels more like God of War to me. I can see that as well.
I got tired and sat down and started begging.
Looming high over the city is Brancis's castle, Greifberg. He took it over when he slaughtered the human ruler of the valley, Skender, as shown in the trailer we shared with you earlier in January this year. In order to complete the main quest and save your family, you'll have to storm the castle, alone or with help of friendly NPCs. We could do it right now if we wanted, but it would be super challenging.
No more drink for you, my friend. Go home.
Oh, let me. I just want to. Oh, let me in.
You made a mess, and it's not that kind of inn.
Let's check the map. The cathedral is really close. There's plenty of other places to see and things to do here. A couple of inns, a medic, a blacksmith, an armorer, and other merchants. You can see that not only the vampires came out of the shadows. This creature on the right is called an Uriash. Look around, especially at night, and you'll learn humans have lots to fear, not just the vampires.
I want to see what the nighttime gameplay is like. Because I could be down for some vampire
And here
shit.
we can see guards pounding on some poor guy's doors.
What is it about?
Like, coming off of watching Sinners, I could be down for some vampire shit.
Was it live here?
It's just one of many different community scenes we're implementing in the game. Watch them closely when you play, as they might point you to new quests and hidden treasures, or signal changes in the game's world.
Sadly, so far, I'm not seeing anything that's really, like, blowing my skirt up.
I humbly.
You know, Vampire is a game that I also wanted to play, Blood Arms. That's one that I should probably add to the backlog, because I have friends that swear by Vampire.
Okay.
Vampire with a
we
Y.
are at the cathedral gates. Again, since Cohen isn't yet wanted by the vampire regime, and it's daytime, we can simply walk inside.
Chat, this is my question to y'all. What game... What's the best game to play if I really loved Sinners, the movie?
Baptism of a newborn is a solemn moment. Doubly so.
I want a game that's like, that really has me like, fuck, do I invite this guy in?
Life joins our flock.
Never seen Sinners? Oh, you gotta see Sinners.
And to the congregation.
You gotta see Sinners. Like, I think I want like a vampire, like a vampire narrative game. Describe Sinners. Y'all, chat, y'all gotta watch Sinners.
in sanguine morietur.
Cameron Kent says I haven't answered, but you played it. What would that be?
In nomine Dei. Amen.
God, I wish Redfall was good. Oh, Immortality. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good game.
Don't I know you from somewhere, young man? Laslia, maybe.
I don't know. I think
I'm sorry, but you must be mistaken.
it's funny because now I'm just thinking about vampire video games. I feel like vampires,
My memory is.
they've been explored in video games. Don't get me wrong. I mean, Crush Lemons does say vampire.
I'll take your
I feel like we've not hit peak vampire era
Thank you,
in video
but
games.
I have no need for confession.
Like we've done that for zombies.
Deem your conscience clear.
Arguably, we've done that for pirates as well.
I wouldn't go that far.
But I feel like we've got
I'm
space
sure you're a busy man,
for
Father.
vampire,
appreciate
like
all
peak
that.
video
I feel
game
my
vampire
soul
con.
should
Oh,
be all
Castlevania.
I won't
Yeah.
press the matter.
But that's old now.
I have many other duties to attend to. But please remember that in order to be saved,
I'm talking modern times. Like I know we got Vampire the Masquerade.
myself.
We got Vampire. We got V Rising.
Hope we can speak
Oh yeah, there's the
again
Blade video game coming out.
Good day to you, Cohen.
Whoa, Shot Show. I'm not saying it's not peak. I'm not saying
Well, as we
Castlevania is
saw
not
right
peak.
here,
I'm just
it's one
saying
of many cutscenes
that I feel like
being
there's
recorded
still
for the
space
game,
there to
which
explore,
smoothly
especially today.
transitioned into a
We could
dialogue
return to
scene.
Castlevania. We could make
We
new
use cutscenes
Castlevanias.
to highlight key scenes or showcase interesting bits of lore. Like this blood baptism. Creepy, isn't it? The core feature of the Blood of Dawnwalker is the dual gameplay loop. Remember, Cohen may be a human during the day.
All right, here we go.
but he turns into a vampire at night and has a different set of skills at his disposal. And this is just one variable that affects our quests.
Yeah, Push Start Joey says, I
Depending
mean,
on
this
when
might be
you
what you're
tackle
looking
a
for, Bless. We're about to
particular
see.
quest, what choices you've made earlier, whom you befriended, or whom you've angered, your gameplay and story experience will be very, very different. So each quest is a complex structure with multiple possible paths leading to the end goal. We maximize players' freedom and agency, offering you a narrative sandbox to play in. I wonder what secret.
If I wasn't working at Kind of Funny, chat. If I wasn't working at Kind of Funny, so badly would I want to be hired to be part of like a PR or marketing team, or a consulting, like maybe start my own consulting thing, right? Of like video game, like rollouts and like marketing materials and trailers and like things like I would want to assist with things like this. Cause to rewind,
Be very,
like listen to this part.
or whom you've angered, your gameplay and story experience will be very, very different.
Think about how many times you've heard that.
So each quest is a complex structure with multiple possible paths leading to the end goal.
Think about how many times you've heard that.
We maximize players' freedom and agency, offering you a narrative sandbox to play in.
And think about how many times you've heard that. Those words don't mean anything to people anymore. Especially if you say all of those things to me while showing me just
complex structure with
just
multiple
the
possible paths
inside of a
leading to
church
the end
building.
goal.
You need to show and not tell in these scenarios, because every open world game, every quest based game will tell you choices matter. We want to prioritize player agency and really want you to choose the way you play. Not that I don't believe it, but like I think we've gotten so much of that it's not really an interesting talking point anymore, unless you're telling me how you're doing it in a unique way from others. And I don't know that this game is going to do that in a unique way from others. Plus thoughts on the Kevin Durant trade. Did that just happen? I'm somebody who the most that's worked on me, I think, was Deus Ex Human Revolution / Mankind Divided. where they really went above and beyond of like telling you like, oh, you know, you can choose your playstyle, whatever. And that's like kind of how I learned what immersive sims were, and like that being the ethos around that genre of games. And like I believe it for that genre. At least if you're able to do that in that genre, that's where I'm like, whoa, like video games are incredible. Like you can really choose and like figure out your own path and like sneak around or go guns blazing or go long distance or do like, if you're not doing that shit, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. So like if you're telling me these things, show me how that stuff operates, or like let's just
We maximize players' freedom
tell me
to
something
play
that's gonna blow me
offering
away.
you a
Tell me something that I'm
narrative
actually gonna care
sandbox
about.
to play in. I wonder what
Show me the
secrets
different
may be
choices.
concealed up there, just beyond current.
Yeah, no, Shah in chat, you know, Clockwork Revolution, I think, had a fun way to show dialogue choices when the character got smacked, but showing what a different option would have done, would have been cool. Yeah, Clockwork Revolution's trailer, I think, does a really great job of that, where that's all show.
Reach. And how
That's
do we
all
get
show.
there? It's impossible to.
And they show unique ways of kind of crafting like your own experience, right? Where like the dude's like, yo, don't talk to that guy, talk to me, and then you can continue to talk to the dude behind him, and then he'll fucking like take out the dude behind him. That's fucking cool. I don't see that often in video games.
during the day, but come night, it's an entirely different story.
Here we go.
Let us explain what we mean by taking our current quest as an example. During the day, we got inside the cathedral without any problems, since it's open for all to see and Cohen doesn't yet stand out from the crowd. The scaffolds, though, are outside of his reach.
If I could have worked on consultancy for this, I would have cut out.
Problem for the vampire.
I would have cut
who
out
has
the last
many
4
more
minutes and just
exploration abilities at his
fast forward to
disposal.
this part.
Bear in mind, Cohen has not completed the quest yet. What's more, there are still a few clues to be found in order to solve this story. It's worth
Ooh, look at the
mentioning that
2 moons in
narrative
the sky.
sandbox also means that we may completely abandon this quest and follow a different path to defeat Brensis. For today, we're focusing on the gameplay part, so let's see how we could tackle this particular quest during the night. We're starting right after dusk, as a vampire, on the rooftops of Svatro. Right now, we have 22 days left to complete this goal. This counter is always displayed and
Ooh, I love
you'll be
that.
warned each time it's pushed forward.
I like that.
So you have to be aware of the time, and it's more of a resource you'll be spending than a racing clock.
Interesting.
As a vampire, you'll see and experience the world from a different perspective.
More of a resource
You
you'll
can
be
travel
spending.
quickly and easily access places beyond the reach of regular humans. Let us show you what we mean. This is Shadow Step, a unique vampiric ability allowing Cohen to jump to almost any place within his reach.
Yeah.
Now, let's take a good look around using the focus mode. This ability highlights objects of interest and loot. And there is something right here. This time, it's just some items to grab, but on other occasions, who knows, you might come across a hidden quest. Looks like our health is quite low. This is because, as a vampire, your health bar also represents your hunger level, and you start each night thirsting for blood.
Oh.
Remember, you have to quench this appetite in order to make full use of your vampire abilities, and rein in your monstrous nature around NPCs. Otherwise, you may end up draining someone important, which
I
may
do
lead
love that
to
like the blink
unpredictable
ability seems to be an
consequences.
unlimited
We'd better
use
feed
thing.
them. Maybe on someone who is standing all alone. Like this drunkard. Let's grab him and use Voracious Bite ability. Unless you lose control due to hunger, you get to decide how much
God,
blood
that-
to drink.
That first
You can drain
person
just a
zoom
bit
in
and knock your victim unconscious.
gives early
Or
PS4.
go all the way and kill them.
Jesus.
And if you're adamant you don't want to hurt innocent humans, you can drink from animals and some other creatures.
Okay, that's cool.
Finally, we are at the cathedral, but it seems to be closed for the night, and the entrance gate is well guarded. Let's find another way in. Shadow Step is not the only vampiric ability you're gonna learn during your playthrough. Cohen can also use plane shift to scale walls and even ceilings smoothly.
Why? Okay. Why is this demo
will
so
allow
slow,
us to
man?
explore every nook and cranny of the cathedral.
This didn't need to be 20 minutes. You should have showed me the cool shit quicker. He could have showed me the cool shit quicker. Because honestly, like, the stuff that you're showing me, like, the abilities and stuff, like, they're cool. They're not, like, mind-blowing by any means. Like, I played many games that have, like, a teleport. I played games that let you scale buildings or whatever. I feel like all that stuff could have been shown a lot quicker.
For the blood gods?
Didn't you want E3 again? Says Inkadu. Not really. Not in this way.
Why? One of the workers must have left it. Seems that the cathedral complex is quite big. The main building, cloisters, inner courtyard.
I think this game will find
Could be anywhere.
an audience, though.
Did anything
I don't
understanding
think
of
so far. I'm
This was a scene investigation.
like, I don't know if this is going to be a
Zoom in on
world-changing
and showcase
drop of a
features.
game.
This time, we had a chance to learn more about the vampire's plans. Looks like they're keen to cover up. the
But I
old
think it could
frescoes,
find, like, a nice
so
little
that's
audience for
something
it.
We could take a look at.
Because it
This
seems like the
way,
things
we
that
could
it's
learn
doing,
more
like,
about the cathedral's past.
I watched this and I'm like, all right, this seems like it's a good video game. Like, I've
Looks
played
like
this game
we
before,
aren't
and I've
alone.
liked this game before.
Underneath us, there's a group of blood guards. Soldiers hooked up on vampire blood, which makes them stronger. And one of Brances's vampire allies. It's Xanthi, the oldest vampire in Vale Sangora, and quite a powerful lady. Let's descend and
Really, what I
check
need from
what's
this video
going
game is like a banger story, or like some banger quests.
Don't think I don't see you skulking in the shadows. Come out.
Yeah, this gives like
You're interfering with my task.
early to mid PS4 generation RPG, which I fuck with. That is a vibe.
It doesn't matter.
Very well. I don't have time for interruptions. Let us dispose of him.
You know what this reminds me of, actually? It reminds me of Dying Light 2, which is a game that I really, really, really dug, aside from the
Cohen
ending.
is using
The ending
his
sucks.
sword to attack when in vampire form. Blood guards are dual-wielding opponents. Their attacks are pretty strong.
But like Dying Light 2 was a game that like
Claws, combat is still
Dying Light 2 is a game that I played and like I couldn't. It's weird. It's a game that came out when there wasn't much else coming out around the same time, or at least when I had it for review. And so like I had the time and space to play it. And as I started playing it, the more I played it, the more I was like, man, it's traditionally just a good video game, and I was into it. Wasn't mind blowing. Wasn't, didn't change me. Didn't change the world. I assume it wasn't on my top 10. But like it was a game that I couldn't stop playing because it had just enough that it was doing. It had just enough carrot on the stick. It had just enough of like the upgrades and stuff that I was interested in. It had just enough story that I was like, I kind of want to see where this goes. You know what I mean? Like it had just enough. And like I fucked with it for that. And sometimes I love games that just give me that. And this strikes me as that. I think the thing though that it also reminds me of when it comes to Dying Light 2 is that like Dying Light 2 for me was also kind of just another zombie game. It had the parkour element, which did help set it apart. And honestly, probably really was the X factor that made me really dig it. And I don't really see the X factor for this game, at least yet. Maybe it's I'm missing it, right? But Dying Light 2 made me feel okay about playing just another zombie game. This to me strikes me as like similar as far as what it's doing with like the fantasy Eastern European setting. I do wish that like aesthetically the vampire stuff was hitting a bit more for me, because I think obviously it's leading into the vampire stuff. You're a vampire at night. You're fucking eating, you're sucking people's blood to the point of fucking death so you can survive the night, right? And you have these cool abilities. Cool, I'm using loosely, right? But I don't know. There's something aesthetically, and maybe this is me being so sinner's pilled right now, but aesthetically, I wish there was something that like had me feeling the vampire aura a bit more of the game. When I just watch the game being played, I'm like, oh, this is like a Witcher 3 type game from people who previously worked on Witcher 3. But there's the vampire side is what separates this. And I wish the vampire side of it was a bit more just pulling me in.
Don't worry, Cohen can still use his sword as a vampire.
I think you have, vampire-based combat.
Only after defeating all three of the blood guards,
I will say this combat looks a bit more fun than the regular swordsman combat.
To face him. She uses her blood control powers to cast a multitude of attacks, like her blood whips that hit Cohen
I mean,
from
her
left and right.
her attacks look a little slow.
Xanthi is protected by a
little
powerful vampire ability. Once
I mean, I don't envy developers who have to make boss fights in the era of From Software games and Souls-likes.
her stamina runs out, Cohen will have an opportunity to strike and deal some damage. But be careful, cause Xanthi is quick to counterattack, and she will also try to restore her blood. Meanwhile, look at the indicator just below her health and stamina. It's a timer for the boiling blood skill.
Yeah, the more I watch this, actually, the more
So if we don't hurry,
the more the
timer
combat
goes
looks a
down to
little
0,
bit janky, a
and
little
Cohen
bit slow, a
will
little bit
eventually explode. And
not
we're
as
dead.
refined as
Remember
I want it to be. Here's the thing:
Bill that you've seen.
the icon in this dude's back. This is gonna bug me if I'm gonna play this game. This is gonna bug me if I'm playing this game. The icon in this dude's back reminds me of the cool S from high school.
In the CGI
Like y'all see? Do y'all see it, or am I tripping?
If we don't hurry, the timer goes down to 0, and Cohen will eventually explode.
Jesus.
And we're dead. Remember, we were only mid-game here, and Xanthi is one of the game's most punishing enemies. Defeating her right here and right now is very much possible, but it would be hellishly difficult. A fun challenge for hardcore players. Otherwise, we could load the game and explore the cathedral without drawing her attention. Or try to get to her while she's not surrounded by bodyguards. Xanthi, like all other vampire allies,
Why don't you show us that? Why are you telling us this over a over the coming 2026 screen?
has her own questline. Explore it.
Show, don't
and you
tell
can learn more
in your
about her
advertising
past,
materials.
motivations, and maybe even try to reason with her. What you do is entirely up to you. Remember, our design principle is the narrative sandbox.
There's
no
not even
difference
motion.
between
I thought there was like
main
smoke.
and side
It's
quests. There's just different stories that you weave together into your
oh,
own
there's like a
unique
it's weird. There's like a little bit of like choppy
But
motion.
That's coming in 2026. For now, I'd like to thank you for joining me on this gameplay video presentation. We've just shown you a tiny glimpse of the blood of Dawnwalker. There's
Why was this edited like it was a Zoom call? I've been in many a press preview Zoom call chat where like it's a hands-off preview, but like they're showing actually it would be exactly like this where they show you the game and then like they would cut to the screen while they're still talking to us and then like they hit the last thing on all right last slide last slide and it turns to this screen. This very much felt like that.
I'd like to thank you for joining me on this gameplay video presentation. We've just shown you a tiny glimpse of the blood of Dawnwalker. There's definitely more to come in the coming months.
Why
so
does this feel like a
stay
slide
tuned
deck?
for any updates being posted on our social media profiles. Goodbye.
What maybe was this presented somewhere? Have a look at the Dawnwalker pre-beta gameplay footage of the presentation of some of the game's features and gameplay mechanics. That felt. I mean, listen, 244,000 views isn't anything in 24 hours. That's actually like fucking phenomenal. So I think this game is gonna do well. I don't know why that felt like a slide deck that they pitched us there towards the end. And a lot of this felt like almost like a internal press, like this is a presentation you would give to the press for us then to then like talk about in written previews and on podcasts, of being like, and Dawnwalker also, I think for a YouTube video that you're giving out directly to your audience, this should have been a bit more snappy and to the point. And, in this era of, like, I was going to say new media, but I don't even like when people say that. But, like, I guess in this area where you can go straight to audience, I understand the thought process of, like, well, why give this presentation to the press when we can just show the audience? I think it's because the audience wants something that is, like, a bit snappier. And also, like, people want the information in a more, like, digestible form. Granted, I'm sure a lot of press will then watch this YouTube video and then do the articles anyway, so it's fine either way. But yeah, I don't know. I think this game looks good. I think it looks good. I think it's gonna do fairly well. I think marketing it as like from people who did The Witcher 3 and all that stuff. Not that they're doing that, because I don't even know if they're doing that right. But like, I think that framing of it could probably do this game a disservice. Like I mentioned before, right? I see Witcher in this game, but I also see a lot of like many fantasy RPGs that I've played in this game, right? Like, I think it's the vampire stuff that's gonna hopefully set this thing apart in the nighttime gameplay and stuff. But yeah, I need a bit more swag from it, especially in the gameplay, because like,
allow you to take a more tactical approach to fighting. We started the fight by throwing some You have activation charges that will be filled in.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of what I'm seeing combat wise.
Of course, even when fighting with claws, combat is still directional.
I do like the idea of fighting with claws though. I think that's fucking sick as hell. And some of what I'm seeing here, I actually do kind of like, because it feels a bit more Fast and Furious than the sword stuff, but it all doesn't look overall like that fun. Like, I feel like I could if this is a 40-hour game, I think I'll get tired of that combat, unless like they're really doing a good job of like upping the ante and like upping your abilities and all this stuff as you go through. They did say this is mid game though, and so who knows. But yeah, that is the Blood of Dawnwalker, the gameplay overview.